And I told her, I don't care if he is her husband. Right now,
It's time to rise from the grave, pour yourself a cup, and enjoy the coffee crypt.
Voices from the Mausoleum is brought to you by the You Run Podcast Network and yourunpodcast.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Coffee
morning.
Crypt.
Our cups are so big. I feel like I'm hiding.
No, these double as weapons.
They are rough. If you can hear that, guys.
Yes, I laughed so hard with our intro this time. It's like it's just so funny. I'm so glad that we went funny and not like super serious for that intro. 'Cause it's just so funny.
I'm a big ham, as my husband will attest to. So I will ham it up.
No, I loved it. And you're like,
I've seen
great.
enough morning shows. I feel like I can. Okay. I'm surprised I didn't do one of those, like, Sam.
Yeah, I'm like the behind the scenes of the show, and you're the what it looks like on camera.
Oh,
funny. Yeah. So we had to start taking notes about this for this episode early.
Yeah, a lot. Well, you know what? I think a lot of stuff was just waiting for the new year. The strikes were over. Things are probably just really kicking into high gear now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's even more than what we're going to talk about. I just didn't. A lot of it was like, stuff I was like, well, we're already talking about, I think, like the big things and things we want to talk about. So I figured we didn't need to add to it. But
this is just a snapshot. Otherwise, this show would be 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And we only do this every other week. So, what we don't get to today, you can let us know that you want us to talk about it, and we'll fit it into the next episode.
Yep. Yeah. So
not a ton of trailers, mostly news though.
It is mostly news, mostly announcements. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our first trailer is for a horror comedy called Krazy with a K, Krazy House. Nick Frost enters a twisted 90s sitcom and upcoming horror comedy premiering at Sundance. I felt like I was watching TV, like back in my parents' home when I was little. Like, this looks absolutely hilarious. It's and I'm like so weird about the balance of like comedy and horror, but like his stuff, and there's a few other people that when they do it, I just know it's going to be done right. And this looks really, really funny.
It looks great. It reminds me of, did you see the show on AMC, Kevin Can F Himself?
No.
It's so funny. So it's a spin. It's like a joke on Kevin Can Wait, which was Kevin James's like third or fourth sitcom, whatever it was. And it was with what's her name from Alexis from Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like this, where it was half sitcom, and for that one, it wasn't horror. It was half sitcom, half like dark drama. And so it was like when she was with like the idiot husband, it was like the sitcom, and then when she was like dealing with like the repercussions of his actions and like the real life stuff, it was like a dark drama.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if that's sort of what they're doing here. If it's not like a half and half, maybe like the 90s sitcom is kind of like a hallucination of some sort, or it's like
because he ticks.
Yeah,
it's like fourth wall breaking a little bit. Like if he's like, I can't do this anymore. And then he just starts like killing people. It's kind of what it looks like, but it doesn't give too much away. It's mostly the beginning setup is, you see a lot of the sitcom-y part where he's like doing crazy things and messing stuff up. And these people come help and they make a mess. And then he starts like glitching or whatever. Yeah.
With stuff like this, I wonder if there's going to be specific nods to certain sitcoms.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite sitcoms?
I grew up on, obviously like Roseanne. I grew up on Roseanne. I watched a lot of King of Queens, and then like the more kid ones, I grew up on like Family Matters. What's the one with the Olsen twins?
Full House.
Full House, stuff like that. So
yeah. I feel like a lot of that will definitely get referenced. My mom had me on a lot of the reruns of like the old stuff. This is why I loved Marvel's WandaVision, because they reference like
Okay.
Bewitched and I Love Lucy and all that
I
stuff.
watched those too. No, I
Yeah.
watched a lot of that too.
But
yeah.
But like same with all those. Boy Meets
Yeah.
World.
Boy Meets
and
World. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Step by Step. I mean,
What's the other one with Urkel?
Well, that was Family Matters.
That was Family Matters. Like I already said that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I Married with Children. I like that.
Oh God, it definitely gave some of that. The wife wasn't as mean as like their dynamic was a little different, but like the aesthetic of it is very I think it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah. Oh, I need more Katie Seagal. Just speaking of Peg, she's so. Did you ever see Torn Hearts? She was in that like.
No, I remember when you were talking about it from before, but I never actually watched it.
Oh, she was so good in that.
I really like her. Well, she's Leela in my all-time favorite cartoon show ever.
Yeah, Futurama.
And then I loved her. I know like Sons of Anarchy for me has not aged very well, but I still loved her in it.
Sure. I think she just always gives a good performance no matter what.
I think she's I also really liked her as the house in Smart House.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
She's so like everyone knows her and loves her, but I think even then she's very underrated because I don't think she ever gets like the recognition that she deserves.
Yeah.
You know? But she's so good. Anyway, that's turn this movie into Katie Seagal.
We already got But yeah.
But I'm excited for Krazy House.
No, I think this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, but it's doing so it's Sundance, so the rest of us won't have a chance to see it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the next trailer I'm very excited about. If you caught it, I did a short reaction to it when it first dropped. But Abigail, which is Radio Silence's monster film coming out, it is not through Spyglass. So if you're worried, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But you got Melissa Barrera, you got Dan Stevens, Kevin Durand, Giancarlo Esposito, Angus Cloud, who unfortunately recently passed away. He was in Euphoria. Alicia Weir is playing Abigail, but you also got like Catherine Newton, William Cole. It's a great cast.
It's a phenomenal cast,
like stacked cast.
Yeah,
but it's the whole Radio Silence team writing and directing, and it's this like group. I don't even know what you would call them, but they're coming in to kidnap this daughter for ransom, and they're locked in with her, and little do they know, she is a ballerina vampire. So they lock themselves in with this little vampire girl, and it's just like chaos ensues. It looks so fun.
Yeah. No, it really does. I saw the poster for it, I think, before the trailer came out, and I was like, I don't care. Whatever that is, I don't care. I don't need any more Black Swan nonsense. And then the trailer started playing automatically when I was scrolling on Twitter, and I was like, okay. And so obviously, like I started watching, and then I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. Yeah. So good. I'm glad I watched the trailer because I would have never I would have eventually seen it because you probably would have talked about it. Other people would have talked about it. I would have eventually watched it, but the trailer sold me. And I know I'm going to be 1 in 5 people on the planet that care about this, but I am so happy that Kevin Durand is in something else because I am absolutely obsessed with him. I love him in everything I have ever seen him in. And I am just so over the moon that he is going to be in something else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What else was he in, Kevin Durand?
The last big thing was The Strain, the vampire show on FX.
Yep.
But he was also in one of the Wolverine movies or one of the X-Men movies. He's the guy that got really the guy that gets really big.
Okay, yeah, he was in Wolverine, and then he did Wild Hogs, Number 4, Robin Hood. He's done a lot.
He's done a lot of stuff. Yeah.
A lot of some voiceover work.
Yep.
Oh,
but The Strain, I'd seen him in some other stuff. But The Strain is where I just really fell in love with him. And I just am I have been dying for more of him. And so I am just he plays Gabriel in Legion, which is one of my favorite movies. He was also in, there's another horror. in the forest. No, Dark is the Forest, Dark of the Forest. It's a creature feature, but he plays the sheriff. He's phenomenal in that too. Anyway, I'm in love with him. He's fantastic. But I'm really excited to see him in something else because he hasn't done anything in a while that I've seen that's been like a big deal like this. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's good when like there's an actor you just like adore, and then
Oh my god,
you get to enjoy something and something that looks as good as this. So that's exciting.
Very, very exciting. Yeah, this looks good.
Yeah, but it's gonna be April 19th. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
for some, just in time for 420, if that's your thing, you can enjoy that and go see Abigail. Or
go see Abigail. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So the next one is a movie called it's Vermin and or Infested. So Vermin is the international name. I guess here it'll be Infested, right? That's what you said.
Or it might be Vermin. Yeah, it's weird. I think it's a translation issue.
Okay. So either way, it's an arachnophobia movie. It's a movie about spiders. So the biggest thing right now is like when I first saw the thing for it is that they use real spiders. It's not like, fake ones or added ones. Like there's a lot of real spiders. But it starts out this guy, he likes bugs and things for whatever reason. And he puts a spider in a shoebox like you do.
Yeah.
And it gets out and lays a bunch of eggs. And then the storyline wise, it doesn't tell you very much. It's just all of a sudden there's different people who are surrounded by spiders, but they're everywhere. I don't know if it's like a mass, like it just reproduces really, really quickly. It makes a bunch of babies because, spiders, when they lay eggs, they have a bunch of babies. And anyway, but yeah, so that's doing the festival circuit right now, but it definitely gave me the EBGBs.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of spiders. I mean, my biggest fear is snakes, but spiders, if there's too many of them, I think I but I like the claustrophobic feeling because I think it's all in the apartment complex, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of
I guess it is because it shows the building, and then there's like the air duct scenes and the bedroom scenes, and that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's very like Evil Dead Rise, but spiders.
Yay! I think it looks good though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, so I saw Arachnophobia for the first time maybe a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it took me a while to actually finally see that one, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And then I always think of what's the Eight-Legged Freaks?
Eight-Legged Freaks. I love that one.
Think about that one too.
That's a really fun one. Yeah.
I miss those sort of fun creature features. Scary ones are good too, but like the fun creature, like Tremors, I think like
Tremors is great.
Evolution. You ever see that one?
Evolution is good.
Like just like the fun, goofy one.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Very, very 90s.
Yeah. Good stuff though. I mean, I often feel like creatures and bugs and like things like that. You can do like those are a lot easier for me to do the funny, silly kind of, because I think that they just fit into that subgenre so well.
Yeah. So it just plays in the real world a little differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that's a French film, Vermin, which I know the French have, we got because we also have a French story coming up too, with another sort of creature feature. So they're pumping them out now. But guys, I don't know. The French aren't really known for their creature features, I suppose.
No.
So that's a nice little change.
Yeah.
But
that's doing festival circuit, so it'll be a little bit before.
Yeah.
Before we get access to it, but I think it'll be a good little watch. I probably wouldn't pay to see it, but we'll see.
Depends on how much it is. If it's a few bucks, I'm like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough. Yeah.
If it's like a $15 rental, probably not.
Nope.
But our last trailer, and this is also our third trailer, we have no idea when the release date's going to be because festivals or whatever, is a Screenbox original called Here for Blood. So it's a Canadian film, and I know this because it stars Sean Roberts. So I'll give you the plot, and then I'll tell you who Sean Roberts is because you're gonna laugh. So Here for Blood is about a pro wrestler who gets sort of tapped to babysit. It was his girlfriend's kid, and sort of has to protect him. Or has to protect the child from like this demonic, evil sort of entity. But it's fun. It's got this cool because it almost has like a 90s scream slasher vibe, but then you throw in this like supernatural element. The mask is cool because they wear it upside down.
Upside down. Yeah.
So the mouth is up here, and then the eyes are down here. It looks really cool the way they do
It's
it.
wicked, yeah.
So Sean Roberts is really beefy in this movie, but you know him from two things. First,
Is Degrassi one of them?
Yeah.
You said Canada, and I was like, you said I would know who it was.
Yeah. So not a great character, unfortunately, because he was the one that assaulted Paige.
I see it now.
That's
okay.
Dean.
I gotcha. I see it now. Because you said you're like, no, you know who that is, and I was like, I can't. What's the other thing I know him from?
He's Wesker from Resident Evil.
Oh, gross. Yeah.
He's the glasses with the
God, he doesn't ever play anybody good, huh?
No, well, this guy seems like he's fun.
Yeah.
But he got really beefy. I don't know if it was specifically for this role or that was just what he wants.
That was, I think, what was throwing me off. Was I was like, I don't know who this is. Like,
yeah. He's supposed to be like a pro wrestler in this, so I guess it makes sense because they're all sort of like
they all look like that.
Jacked and,
yeah.
You know. Well, it's also funny because he looks like John Cena in this movie. And that's definitely the vibe that they're going for, is this like John Cena character. So it's definitely gonna play for some laughs, but it looks really fun.
It does.
So it's good. Yeah, it's gonna be on Screambox. No date on the trailer, no date on IMDb. We'll be lucky when we see it because I know I'll rent this one. Well, it's on Screambox, so I'll just get Screambox for that.
Just watch it on Screambox, yeah.
But it looks like a blast.
Yeah. No, I think it looks really fun too. It's like The Pacifier meets Scream and Cabin in the Woods, or I don't know, something.
Well, you said The Pacifier because that's The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so no, Pacifier is Vin Diesel.
Oh, Vin Diesel. Sorry. All these Vin Diesel wasn't a wrestler, but like so many of the wrestlers like take on roles like that, right? Like The Rock or
because it works. It just makes sense.
It makes sense because you get the parents who love them, you get the kids that love them, and then you're sort of getting like new audience, old audience. People have crushes on them.
Totally.
But yeah, my tangent. Batista, John Batista. Dave Bautista. He's
the big guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Drax, yeah. He's my favorite wrestler, gone actor. The Rock, I'm like.
I didn't even know he was a wrestler. I thought he was just big like that because he wanted to be.
No, Bautista was a wrestler. Yeah, he's my favorite.
I love him.
Wrestler.
He seems so nice and like down to earth and stuff and funny.
Yeah, he's a sweetie. And surprisingly like a great comedic actor.
Yeah,
like he's so good as Drax.
He's perfect. Perfect casting for that. Yeah. He plays the dumb like so well.
Yeah. Well. Oh, and him and Mantis, great duo. I know this is not a Marvel podcast or anything. I could go on about them. But Here for Blood will be here at some point.
Yeah. Which takes us into news and trending. So one of the things that just got announced this past week was the Maggie, I didn't even know this was a thing. Maggie Gyllenhaal is doing a Bride of Frankenstein remake, and it is about to start production, and it's just going to be called The Bride.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. I have a bride up there, but I don't know if you can see her. She's really tiny. It's that little tiny picture, like right here.
Mm-hmm. I can see like sort of the white and the hair and
she's so cute. Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, when you talk about like coming of age things or things that you grew up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I got into my mid to late 20s, or I'll say mid 20s, and really started just trying to figure out like what I was. I think that The Bride of Frankenstein is on, when you look at this film and you watch it and you like the original and you really think about it, it's a very interesting story about sexuality and gender norms. And so when you're watching that as someone who isn't really sure where they fit in these things, it was just a really big eye opener. It's very much helped me get to certain parts of my identity, and I have a very, very big connection to The Bride for that reason. On top of being a huge Frankenstein fan and, growing up watching that with my dad, and that being like Universal Monsters being like my introduction to horror, and like poltergeist, obviously I got snucked to see that. But when I got older, my dad showed me the Universal monsters over and over again, and those were the, Frankenstein was the one we watched the most. So I'm very excited. I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is a good choice. I think it's in good hands.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have all of the right pieces. So I'm really excited to learn more about it.
Yeah. Can't add anything more perfect than that, but I do like Maggie Gyllenhaal. I do.
I like her too.
I think she's great. Her and her brother. And good
I do not like her brother, but I do like her.
Nice.
I didn't appreciate the switchover in the Batman movies from Katie Holmes to Maggie Gyllenhaal, because that was very strange for the same character. I feel like that was just bad writing. But I liked her take on Rachel better than I liked Katie Holmes' take on Rachel. So anyway, but no, I think she's super capable. I think it's in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely. The first time I ever saw her was in with her brother. It was in Donnie Darko when she played the sister in that. I love Donnie Darko.
I hate Donnie Darko.
But I will. My caveat is I'm not one of those like douchebags who's like, you just don't understand Donnie Darko. Don't worry,
because I do understand it, and it's just not for me.
They taught it in my I didn't take the class, but my school offered AP psychology, and they showed it, and it was sort of like they taught it in a way that was like, okay, this is not a science fiction, this is actually about schizophrenia, and so they taught it in that sense, rather than it obviously being ambiguous like it is in the movie.
Sure.
But
excited about that. Excited to learn more.
And now we got the announcement. Finally, we are getting 28 years later. When did 28 months happen?
We skipped months altogether.
Weeks. Yeah. When was the last 28? When was the last 28 movie?
28 weeks was 2006, 7.
It was like shortly after 28 days, right? It wasn't like a long gap.
2007. Damn, I was close.
You were very close.
It's a 5-year difference. The original came out in 2002. So 2007.
Wow.
I was thinking 6, but 2007. So it came out,
Movie's older than I realized. Not that 2002 is old, but like longer than I realized.
Yeah. And
So
Cillian Murphy wasn't in weeks because he was doing. Dang, what was he doing in 2007? He was doing another movie. He couldn't be a part of it.
I'm sorry, who?
Cillian Murphy, the main guy from 28 Days.
Was he doing Dark Knight at that point?
I think that's about right. Timeline wise, 2007. Yeah,
because 2008 Dark Knight came out.
Yeah, and he was in Scarecrow's in the first one. So yeah,
Scarecrow's in the first one. So
that's probably right.
Yeah.
So filming wise, they probably just couldn't make it work. Which is, I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I like the cast. I love, the mom from Insidious is in 28 Weeks Later. She plays the doctor or the scientist or whatever.
It's so funny. I didn't even realize Rose Byrne was in it.
Rose Byrne, that's it. I can't think of her name.
Rose Byrne.
She's great. And I love both of those movies. Oh, and the guy that plays Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time is also in 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a minute since I've watched the original too. I'm gonna have to go back and do a double feature again, just to sort of like jog.
Yeah.
But I remember just like how stylized they were.
Jeremy Renner is also in 28 Weeks Later.
Oh wow. A lot of folks. Jeez.
I was trying to think of the guy. I was like, who's the military guy? What is his name? And then it came to me, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah, just a few years before. Well, no, I'm trying to think when he started in the Avengers movies.
I didn't know who he was when I saw him in 28 Weeks.
Right.
So yeah, it was
when they came out.
2007 when it came out.
No, did you see them in theaters?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, no, missed them in theaters, but I think I definitely saw them like shortly, like probably like DVD rental.
Yeah, I didn't see 28 Days until a little while after it had been out, because in 2002 I was in like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah.
I mean, I was into horror at the time, but I couldn't get into horror movies at the time.
That's what I'm saying, because it's rated R.
Yeah. Depends on the movie, I guess. The PG-13 ones I could see, Where
Yeah.
like, you know,
I'm pretty sure my sister just showed it to me one weekend when I went to her house or something and watched it, but I saw weeks in the theater, and I will be seeing years in the theater as well. I don't know if he's been confirmed, but I really hope he's in it because I absolutely love him.
be interesting like what they can tie together from those two movies. You know, it's
I
hard, and
love
it's
it.
hard to do one so many years later. Almost 20. Well, I mean, in the universe, 28 years, but
It's only been 22
22 years since the original.
since the original. Mhm.
But that's a long
But I
time.
love him as Jim, and I would love to see Celine back. Like,
Well, you know what's funny is like that 22 years.
mhm.
To put it in perspective, that's a longer gap than the original Halloween in H2O.
That's wild.
Right?
What? But he's just so great. I love him so much. I really want him to be like, I want him to be in this. The only reason I saw Quiet Place 2 is because he's in it. Like, that's the only reason. I love him. So we'll see.
Yeah. And that franchise certainly, I think, changed the face of like zombie flicks.
Yeah.
Like 100% changed the game.
Yeah. First fast ones, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Because Romero never did a fast.
Nope. Now we have tons of fast zombies, but in 2002, that wasn't common. That upped the game because then it was like, oh, these are really scary.
Yeah, we can make them a little scarier, you know, a little more dangerous.
God, and there, yeah.
Not just dangerous in numbers, you know, like one can really take you out.
Yeah. Super fast. Like, oh, so good.
Yeah. But again, that was an announcement. So give it a couple of years before we actually
I know.
probably get it.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fine. Take the time. Do it right. I'll wait. I'll be here. Yeah, so another announcement we had is that they're doing a Blob remake.
Our second remake now.
Second remake of the Blob. That's right. I always forget there's another one.
80s.
That's right.
I think it was the 80s.
What do I want to say? It's not that I don't care about this. It's just that I think I'm so surprised that this was announced. Like, I think it just kind of caught me off guard. So it was just like, oh, okay.
It's a weird property to bring back.
Yeah, right? Like, not that it can't be amazing. I don't mean that at all. It's just, I just remember when I saw the post about it, I was like, for real? You know,
Yeah.
It seems kind of weird.
I hate to sound like this, but kids these days, do they know about the Blob?
Kids these days.
It feels hard to sort of try to revitalize. I mean, I don't, but the audience is there for it because are a lot of people nostalgic for the Blob? Depends on how you do it. Do you go super serious, try to make it scary? Do you sort of? I can see a world where you kind of make fun of a poppy 1950s like drive-in movie. You can do something fun with it like that. Like, I'd be very curious what tone they decide to go with. Because I know that the first remake had some pretty creepy imagery in it, so they went for scary.
Yeah.
So you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you have to do something different. You have to sort of, to do a second remake, you kind of have to justify its existence in some way.
Yeah, I mean, because we already have one. So why are we revisiting?
I mean, look at the second remake for Black Christmas. Did we need that one?
I mean, it was better than the one before it.
You're in the minority in that one. People really like that middle one.
No, they don't. That can't be true.
The gays like the middle one.
Okay, well.
You throw Dawn Summers, Gretchen Wieners.
I mean, I get all of that, but God.
The flashback stuff is not good. I will give that.
Yeah, they could have just left all that shit out.
Yeah, they should have upped given the girls more to do.
I also didn't like that there was 2. I thought that was too much.
Oh, the 2 killers thing? Yeah. They didn't have to make... Well, because you know what it is? They were like, okay, well, he talks about Agnes in the original. So who is Agnes? And I think they went a little too much with trying to figure out, like, who an Agnes was. And, like, giving that character, you know, whatever. Anyway, this isn't a Black Christmas story. This is a Blob story. But, you know, but The Thing had a good remake. Was the 2011... The one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, was that technically a remake?
I think it's supposed to be a continuation.
Supposed to be a continuation. Okay.
I watched it like a remake.
Yeah.
So I mean, people like to say it's like, oh well, the filmmaker said. I don't care. If it walks, talks, and acts like a remake, it's a remake. I don't care what you
That's
say.
right. You heard it here first, guys.
Just saying. Like, it's like anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm in for a Blob remake. Whatever. It's one of those things. I'm not nostalgic for the Blob. I'm like, do whatever the hell you want with it. Sure,
yeah,
let's see.
And that's kind of a good thing though, right? Because that means of people who might be big fans, we're the ones that are going to go into it like more open-minded probably.
Yeah.
And willing to just kind of take it as is, which is really hard to do with some remake. That's why I didn't watch any of the Black Christmases until I had to for content.
Yeah.
Because the first one is huge to me. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I was like, I refuse. And you know, I'm an advocate for remakes. I think we should be remaking things. I think that's great. But like some of them I feel like should be untouchable. And Black Christmas was one that wasn't, and then it wasn't twice. So
yeah.
Anyway.
I made the mistake. This is another, you know, I know we have a lot of stories to get to, but every year on
We're doing okay.
We're doing good. No, we're doing good. Every year on my birthday, I watch The Poseidon Adventure, which for everyone that doesn't know is a 1970s disaster movie. The ship capsizes. They have to get from the top of the boat to the bottom of the boat, which is now up top.
Yep.
It's a great 70s disaster movie. I love it. The characters are great. The performances are good. Like, I refused, like you, to see the remake. I was like, this year on my birthday, I watched the original and I had some time to kill. And I was like, let me just watch it. It's been, it came out in 06, 07, whatever.
Oh my God.
Okay. And I'm like, it's been 20 years almost. Let me just watch this remake and see. So bad. So bad. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, a lot of these become a shell of what they're trying to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I think it's easier to do remakes like The Blob than it is to do things of like great depth. And
yeah,
it's just easier, I think, to do these because, like you said, there's so many things you can do with it. And I think there's just a lot more forgiveness. Like if they ever do finally bring Buffy back, it better not be a remake of any kind. It needs to be 20 years later, and let's just keep it moving because there are some things that like it's going to be like a really thin line between good and bad.
Yeah, you don't have to retell the story. Yeah,
you've got more wiggle room. You know,
you could just have a different Slayer, which I know they've like sort of did with the Audible story, and then they sort of did.
I really liked that actually.
Yeah,
it was so cheesy, like so cheesy. And Tara, as much as I love her, she is not a good voice actress. But other than that, Amber Benson. Other than that, I ate it up. It was fun. It was silly. Yeah. It was the favorites minus. Well, no, Buffy wasn't really one of my favorites. It's Oz is probably the only one that couldn't, but that wouldn't have made sense.
No.
It was so like I just had so much fun with it. I really hope they do more. But anyway.
Yeah, and just sort of other. I mean, I know there's novels that sort of exist in the world.
Comic books. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's so much. Anyway, but like remakes again, like you said, like if the original sort of lacks some substance, you can fill it with good substance. If the original had a lot of substance, if you don't match it or better, then it's hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that'll be enough of our remake tangent. Tune in for Angel's show on remakes.
We'll cover the Blob.
This next story. Yeah, you did the Blob, right? Okay. This next story, I'm very, 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 very excited for. Although I have not read this one yet. It's on my. I'm going through them, but so 4th Street, Fear Street, the 4th Fear Street movie got announced. 4th Street. It's next to Fear Street, and so Fear Street got announced. The next one, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a trilogy or anything, but it's going to be based on Prom Queen, which is one of the novels. I guess it's a later one because it's not one of the ones I read yet, and I almost think. No, I'm thinking the cheerleader. That might be another one. But anyway, it's one of the either later ones or if it might spin off because there's the Fear Street books, but then there's also like Fear Street Seniors, which is like the 12th graders. And
there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
Then it's like a flashback one, which is all the witchy stuff.
Yep.
So like, I forget which one it falls under, but it's gonna be based on this one. So. Actually, I should have pulled it up so we can kind of go into what the original plot was. So I'm going to pull up.
I'm really glad that they're doing more Fear Street. I really love that trilogy. It was so good.
I'm curious, like, what... so it's the 15th book. So the synopsis of the book, and they might change it a little bit, but... this one's got a little tone to it. A spring night, soft moonlight, 5 beautiful prom queen candidates, dancing couples at the Shady Side High prom. These should be the ingredients for romance, but stir in one brutal murder, then another and another, and the recipe quickly turns to horror. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I definitely foresee some prom night references, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm excited for anything that carries the Fear Street name. I think it's. I already just feel confident saying it's going to be really good.
I don't know if the same director is going to be coming back.
I have no idea.
I forgot her name, but she was so good. The woman that directed it. I forgot, but. This should be fun. I wonder how they're going to turn it on its head because what I love so much about the Fear Street trilogy, we know this, is that it took this 90s property, this like thing that some people knew, and they sort of really modernized it, kept it in the 90s for the most part, other than the other ones, but made it a queer story. It really sort of took it and like made it more relatable, a little more, it just sort of. It flipped it, a lot of these cliche 90s plots.
Yeah.
And did something cool with it, did something different.
Yeah.
Really made it this like queer feminist liberation story.
Yeah.
So I'd be very curious about someone who's targeting prom queens. I feel like they're going to do something interesting with it.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm really pumped for it. I hope they continue to do more after this, whatever they end up doing with this. I know I'll love it. I'm not worried.
Zero worries.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was looking at what was next. So we got some cast updates for Smile 2, one of which makes no sense and is hopefully not going to be a super big disappointment. So if you have not seen Smile, it's been out for a long time. Kyle Gallner is going to be returning, which I am a little nervous about because is he going to be in it for like 5 minutes or, you know what I'm saying? Because of how the original ends, I don't know how they're going to like.
Because he's in the house.
He's in the house watching her die.
Yeah.
Which is how it spreads. I don't know.
So does it spread to him? Is he sort of going to be our...
right? It has to.
Has to. I appreciate. I like that though. If that's the case, because he's an underrated scream king, Kyle Gallner.
Is he underrated? Everyone loves him. That's like
we love him on the internet, but he, again, it's sort of in the way that what was I saying? What's her name? Like Katie Seagal is underrated. Everyone knows and loves, but the recognition I feel like is different. Not that you're going to take home a lot of Oscars and Emmys for horror, unfortunately.
Sure, it's part of the subgenre he's always in.
Yeah, but it's cool to see him being a leading a leading
Yeah,
man.
so I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen. I'm wondering if that's going to mean that he's the main character now.
I hope so. I
I
think
love
that's
him.
cool.
Like, I think he's great. Like, I really love him. So I hope so. They've also now confirmed Naomi Scott, Rosemary DeWitt, and Lucas Gage.
So love
Which
all
this
of
is
them.
apparently set to release in October of this year. So
Yeah, love that whole cast.
yes,
The gays love them some Lucas Gage.
Lucas Gage. Yeah, I mean yeah.
Rosemary DeWitt's great. She was in the Poltergeist remake, but I know she's
Yep.
done so much other stuff.
Yeah.
And who was the other one?
Naomi Scott.
Naomi Scott. She was the Pink Power Ranger in the remake.
Yeah, I think the cast looks great. I'm really excited. I really loved Smile. I felt like people seemed to be a little on the fence about it, but it was one of my favorite films.
Yeah, it was great.
The year that it came out, which was not 2023, it was 2022.
22.
Okay. It's all the same day for me. I don't
All a blur.
but yeah, so I really loved it. I loved the concept. I love the approach to this story. I thought it was really good. So I'm very excited that when they announced that they were thinking about doing it, that now we're like getting it, like it's going to be out this year, and
Yeah.
Kyle's returning, and then the other cast. Sounds good to me. Sign me up.
No, solid.
Yeah.
So our next story, it was just a poster announcement for a French Netflix film called Under the Seine. I always say it's the river in France. It's the Seine. And it's a shark movie in the middle of Paris.
During a triathlon.
So it is directed by Xavier Gens, who did Frontier and Mayhem.
Yep.
That's really all we know about the plot. Triathlon in France, shark attack in the river. It could be super silly, could be super fun. It could be.
I don't think it's going to be fun. So for anyone who's not familiar with Frontier, it's like Martyr.
Oh,
Martyrs.
You did tell me this. Okay, so it's not.
So if you've seen Martyrs,
it's going to be intense.
It should be a pretty intense film, is my expectation.
Okay.
Because he makes extreme films. Like Frontiers is wild. So I will be very surprised if it's silly.
Yeah. So how to make a Shark Takes Paris movie intense? You'd have to really sort of I don't know. I mean,
he's going to do it.
The attacks themselves can be intense and brutal, right?
He's going to do it. It's going to it's going to be so great.
I am pumped.
I'm so excited about this one.
It could be sort of the next best shark movie. It really could.
I'm ready.
But yeah, I do love it. I think the poster, was it outside of the cathedral?
Yeah, and then you see the fin in the water.
Because
well, they'll know because you're gonna have it right here.
Yes, it's right there. It'll be right there. But yeah, no, and Paris, it'll be cool because Paris is also a very beautiful city. We were there. It was half of our honeymoon.
Yeah.
So I've only been there once, but so we sort of stayed just around the corner from the cathedral. So I'm curious if I could spot the places. I was there, and there's a shark attack now.
Yeah.
But that'll be cool. But yeah. So again, no release date, but it'll be on Netflix, so it'll be super accessible.
Yeah. The next one, and I'm sure everyone's already heard about this. Mia Goth is being sued for allegedly kicking an extra in the head, as well as bullying and harassing him on set. There has not been anything new about this, which is very surprising to me because I fully expected there to be more info by now. But kind of, she is doing very well right now, and people really, really love her, and the movies that she's made and her performances are very meaningful for a lot of people, which I completely respect, even though I'm not into her like that. But I am very curious to see what comes of this. Is this going to be something where that's really what happened? Is it going to be something where this person got let go and they're now just retaliating to try to get money. It could go a few different ways.
That's the thing is, like, I think we definitely need more information. But, like, I'm on the thing is, like, as much as I love her, like, and I think I remember telling you, it's like I have to, like, check my own biases. It's like, if this is true and she did this, she needs to be held accountable. Like, I think
100%.
100%.
Yes.
But it's sort of like, it's another thing. It's just we need more information, and it's one of
We
those
don't
things. It's
know.
like, you want to, when someone comes forward and says they've been attacked, assaulted, like, we want to believe that person, right? So I feel like that camp in my mind is like, you want to believe them, right?
Yeah. And I think we need to be really mindful of this double standard, because if she had been a man that allegedly kicked a woman in the head, I think the reaction would be very different.
Yeah. No,
so we have to remember that women are also very capable of violent and aggressive behavior.
Yeah.
Sometimes more so.
It absolutely can be.
So hopefully, I guess we'll get more information eventually. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's got opinions. I don't have an opinion other than, if it's not true, then I hope that guy gets put on blast for making things up and not being honest and just trying to get money. And if it is true, then she needs to be held accountable.
I think that's the thing that's hard, is like, when a story like this comes out, either direction you go, it's something bad. Either someone you liked did something horrible, or someone went and made up a horrible lie.
And tried to ruin somebody, basically.
And so it's
for
like
money.
Either result is still a bad thing, and But yeah, so I guess we'll just have to keep our eyes open. This is sort of one of the first times we've ever covered a story like this. So I know for us, it's a little hard to approach these topics, right? Sort of
because we avoided the other one.
Yeah, we usually sort of avoid the controversial kind of stories because it's not always our place. But I think it was important. It's important sometimes, but it is sometimes important to talk about these things because it brings up topics of like assault and what brings up a lot of hard feelings, but like real life issues.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. But so switching.
I'm ready.
This is such a funny kind of typical morning show cliche. You ever see them make fun of it? It's like
we go from like the not
really
so happy to the
horrible to like, and now look at this puppy.
Let's talk about the puppy. I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, so we're getting an Until Dawn adaptation from David Sandberg and Gary Dauberman. If those names sound familiar, they've worked on like Annabelle. I think Dauberman worked on both It movies, the It remakes, I should say. So collectively, I mean, some movies that aren't that great, some movies that are really good. I really enjoy those movies. So like, it's sort of like, you don't know, we want to sort of give them the opportunity, but I know you're busting at the seams to talk about it. So go.
So first of all, I'd just like to say that it's already a movie, right? It's just animated. Okay. It's already a movie. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the game, it's a decision-based, it's dialogue driven. It's decisions, quick time events, whatever. So the people who did this did The Quarry. They did the Dark Picture Anthology series that my partner and I just finished. They make beautiful, stunning, really immersive games. And Until Dawn was unlike anything else for its time. It was revolutionary for decision-based games, in my opinion, and really set the standard really high for anything that came after it. And it is already a movie. So I think it's super weird that this is I just want BioShock. I don't know why I haven't gotten that one yet. Yeah. But so here's my Until Dawn movie pitch and what I think should happen in order for it to be successful, at least to me. I think they need to go the Bandersnatch way, and they need to make it an interactive movie experience.
Like an interactive Netflix movie.
Yeah, where the viewers get to make the decisions. If you remove all of the decisions, it's too linear of a story. It's not going to work, I don't think. The magic of the game is the experience of something you did cost that character their life.
Yeah.
And when you take that away, it's just a regular. I won't, for anybody who hasn't played the game and doesn't know, it has a giant twist halfway through. And you start out thinking you understand what you're watching and you know what you think you know what you're getting, but then it like goes in like a whole other crazy direction. And you're just like, and everyone's like, oh my God, Hayden Panettiere better be in it. She better not be in it. You know who does not look 15 anymore? Her. She better not be in it. Y'all better find somebody else to play Sam. Stop it. So I am not as excited about this as a lot of people have been on Twitter today, but I will say this. I think there is a really, really fun way to make this successful.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really cool to do it as a game where you get to pick the decisions and stuff. And
absolutely.
I just don't, I already know the story. You know what I'm saying? So
unless you do a loose adaptation and you change the story a little bit, and then it's sort of like it becomes its own thing. That way we don't know what's coming.
Yeah. But if they take away that like really big twist, then I'm going to be upset.
Yeah. But unless you just stick different characters, I don't know. I it's like, how much of it do you adapt without sort of disappointing the people? Like you said, like, if you enjoy the decision making and that's really what draws you into the story and that's not there, is it just about that? Is it about like, what is it?
They have a lot of different types of angles to kind of appeal to, and because there are going to be people who watch this have never played the game and their experience is not going to be anything like the people who've played the games.
Well, because it's sort of like when you go from book to movie or you go from something to movie. It's a different medium. It's a different, not even as a video game to a movie. It's a choice-based game to a movie. So like you said, the choices aren't there.
I'm really not sure about it. I feel like it's so, like I texted Addie to tell her, I was like, oh my God. I was like, they're doing an adaptation of Until Dawn. And she literally replied and she was like, but it's already a movie. And I was like, it technically is already a movie. There's no combat. It's just cinematic, decision-based gameplay. So we will see.
You move around, right? I remember you do look at things.
Yeah, you have to explore. There's secrets. There's the totems that tell the future. But it's like, for me, video game adaptations are successful to me when they feel like the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take away, with the decision game, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
It's hard.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see what they do.
Yeah. I'm going to see it either way, but my stance on video game movies. I think the best one ever made was Detective Pikachu. So
listen, Detective Pikachu is so cute. We love that one. My favorite video game to film is Silent Hill.
Yeah. Well, yes. Because we know this as I'm seeing the Silent Hill box back there.
Yeah. No, Kat and I haven't gotten to that one yet. Because we have to prepare for it. Because it's a big one to talk about, that one on video game adaptations, that one in Resident Evil. But no, I want it to be great. It really just depends on how they tackle it. If they lose too much of what made it a video game, then it's just not.
You could do what they did with Clue and release different endings in different theaters.
Oh my God. That's true.
You could do something like that. Depending on what theater you go to, depending on what's showing, you get a different ending. I'm like really rooting for another Bandersnatch type. I think, because there's no announcement as to like where this is going to go.
No.
So it could very well be an interactive story. It doesn't have to just be Netflix. It could go on Apple and be an interactive. It could go anywhere and be an interactive story. So we'll see. I think I'm in that camp with you. Make it a Bandersnatch movie.
I think that's just genuinely the best way, the best approach. And do not cast Hayden Panettiere as Sam. She is too old.
No, just get some newbies.
Yeah, do some new. There's tons of stereotypical looking teenage actors and actresses. Grab them.
Yeah. Don't just grab the cast of Euphoria.
I would also watch that though. I love the cast of Euphoria.
No, I know. But now they're all, look, I just saw Jacob Elordi and Saltburn not too long ago. They're everywhere.
Yeah, and Hunter is in that new, looks like a psychological. I can't think of what it's called. Shoot, it doesn't matter. Oh,
Yeah.
and in the new Hunger Games,
Oh, him. Yes.
Schaefer. That's it.
Schaefer. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I've yet to see the new Hunger Games. I was, you know what, I held off because I still have to read the book. I'm like, I sort of want to just read the book first.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the books. I thought the first book was super boring, but I love the movies.
The books, I feel like it really kicks off with the second one, which is a lot of people say that with the movies too. But anyway, so our last story of the show. So Christopher Landon. So speaking of controversial stories, so this is sort of a continuation of sort of the Scream 7 debacle. So Christopher Landon sort of, was the last exit
Yes.
of anyone that was confirmed for Scream 7. So the director for that is now attached to an adaptation of Chandler Baker's werewolf story, Big Bad. And that's going to be for Lionsgate. So he's sticking with horror. We know him from Happy Death Day, 1 and 2, Freaky, Paranormal Activity.
Lots of the Paranormal Activities, had hands in all of them, I think, most of them.
So are you familiar with this story, Big Bad?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'm not either.
No, I'm not. But you know what's really funny? Right before we recorded, Albert sent me the link for the article, and I was like, I know. We're going to talk about it tonight because, he thinks werewolf, he knows.
So I'm not familiar with this one.
Me neither.
So I should pull this up. I feel like I wish, like a real morning show, I wish we had someone who could please pull that up on the big screen.
One day.
One day, maybe. I'm just going to hop in on Goodreads right here. So this is for a family trying to make an isolated farmhouse into a home. Fear and rage are getting harder to control in a primal short story. So it's a short. So it's about a family. Sam is a resentful stay-at-home dad. Rachel, I guess, is the wife, feels restlessness in her blood. Is she the wolf, perhaps? The children are getting, so it feels like it's sort of like a family sort of drama. Exacerbated by a werewolf presence transformation of some sort.
Well,
could be good.
Sign me up.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, so it's a short or like a novella. Oh, it's 59 pages, so it's like a little novella.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to give that a read before. That sounds like a quick read.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds good though.
I mean, literally anything werewolf I will consume.
Anything. And if it has the tone of like a Happy Death Day, I'm all for that. I love Happy Death Day.
I also loved Happy Death Day. I didn't see Freaky mostly because it weirded me out, the concept. I just didn't like it. But Happy Death Day is great. And the other thing is I really do prefer super serious, hardcore werewolf films. But the Werewolves Within, have you seen that?
Not yet. I know it came out a long time ago now.
It's on Hulu. You should watch it. It is hilarious. Hilarious. I watched it because I was going to go on another show, and I was like, oh, I don't know, funny werewolves. Oh my God. I loved it. I've watched it multiple times. So I think camp works really well with werewolves, where they can still be really great werewolf movies. So anyway.
Yeah. I feel like we need a balance. I feel like we don't get enough of the serious ones either. So it's sort of like when you get mostly comedy, it's like, all right, well, give me some scary.
Yeah, I think, I just want more. I just want more.
We had The Cursed a couple years ago.
I loved that.
But other than that, it's been a minute. But but no further details on that. But good for Christopher. Sort of, I wonder if this was a project that he was putting on hold or waiting to sign on because of Scream, but now he's no longer with Scream.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
Let's go ahead with that. That's probably what happened.
But
but now I'm hearing all mixed rumors. I mean, just impromptu Scream conversation. I'm hearing mixed rumors that Spyglass is trying to have conversations again with Melissa Barrera, even though they already tried again. Nev Campbell's saying she'd be there for the right reasons. What does that mean? Is it about the pay? Is it about getting Melissa back? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that was something I read this
Yeah.
day.
Well, it's tons of misinformation, tons of theories, tons of nobody knows.
The thing is, I'm not really a fan of just speculating for the
No,
sake of
yeah.
speculating.
Me
You know,
either.
it's just like it's a waste of our time. It's a waste of your time. It's just a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah.
Gets views though for people and good for them, but not throwing shade.
Sure. No.
No, we're not about the clickbait here. It's
No.
we should
Definitely not. Well, and the last thing I want to ever do is put something out that gets a shit ton of engagement and then have to eat my words.
It's like, you know, and if I wanted that to put out that kind of stuff, I don't know. I'd audition for like Entertainment Weekly or
TMZ.
Access Hollywood, one of those, you know.
Yeah.
TMZ, you said?
TMZ.
TMZ, like that's not who we are.
Let me just tell you this side note. When Nope went in the direction, when TMZ showed up in the movie Nope, I lost my mind. I thought that was so funny because TMZ is like always the first to know stuff. Like, anyway.
Somehow.
Until now. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for our news. It was a big news heavy episode. But we do have some channel updates. So as of this episode coming out, our Patreon is live. So we appreciate any kind of support. Just, obviously we appreciate you guys watching us to begin with. And we super appreciate even if you consider being a Patreon member. I pulled up my Patreon here. I'll put a link below. Actually, I think I could even link the website to the video itself. So I think I'll do that too. But so just as a reminder for the tiers, right? So you could support us with just $1. That's the recently deceased tier. You'll get your name in the credits of the show. So you will be a part of the Voices family for your support. For $3, you will be one of the mystics. So you get your third eye and you can join Discord where there'll be, just where we could chat. There'll be bonus episodes. You will get an automatic entry into our giveaways. So you won't have to do any of the special stuff and you just automatically go in. There'll probably just be Patreon exclusive giveaways as well.
Yep.
For $5, you are a bone collector, and then you join the sticker club. So there will be an exclusive design every month. And when we say exclusive, we are literally just ordering 25 to 50 of these stickers, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then for $10, you are a grave digger. And so this is just a ticket to a monthly event. So we will do watch alongs, trivia nights, happy hours. But if we think of anything else that's creative and fun, we'll do that too. Right. So that'll be a monthly event. We'll probably hang out. Well, yeah, we will hang out at the Discord for that one, which you'll already have access to. And then for $20, you are a Crypt keeper or a producer of the show. So you get a producer's credit. After 2 months of being a producer, Crypt keeper, you will get a producer's T-shirt. And you also get to come up with creative ideas, topics that you want us to cover, or show ideas, anything for one of our existing shows, like the Coffee Crypt, or remakes, or found footage, or video games, or you could have your own special episode that you want us to cover, and we can kind of do that separately. Those ones will probably be a little further in between, few and further between, just because it'll be easier to kind of incorporate for our main show.
Right. Yeah.
But we still will have a running log and rotation for that. So you don't get to just do it. You don't have to just do it once and that's it. Because right now we only have space for 5 producers. And then we'll see engagement, see how many folks are interested, and we'll sort of grease the wheels and see how it goes. And maybe we could add more down the line.
Yeah.
So so those are all the tiers. It is open now. So yay.
Yay.
I know we were really nervous about putting this out. There was just so much. People have a lot of opinions on like Patreons and
Oh, I know.
what people offer or don't offer. Does it affect the content? And it won't affect the content.
No.
Like all the stuff that we put out on YouTube, will be.
It's really just that the Patreon just equals bonus stuff that's
It's
still
stuff.
content related in essence, but is, hopefully you will feel that it's mutually beneficial. That you get something fun out of it, we get something fun out of it, and we can help grow the channel. We'll be able to hopefully do more things. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like it will grow the channel. Like, so everything that we earn through Patreon will be funded directly back into the show, equipment, editing software,
unboxing things we want to do for the channel. Yeah.
It'll be sort of, And so it's all going to go to help sort of support the show itself.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's sort of a general channel update. And now I know we have an Angel specific update.
Yes. So if you've been here for a few months at least, I was in the hospital. I'll keep this bit short because you don't want all my whole life story, or maybe you do. I'll do another video later. But I was in the hospital last August. Very suddenly, I went into the ER for some chronic pain in my abdomen. Thought it was an appendix. I have a mass on my spine. Long and short of it, I went to a neurosurgeon. I have to have surgery. So I wanted to use the surgeon that I met. I felt really great about it. She wanted to get better imaging, but she went on maternity leave. So I finally met with her this past week and we have a surgery date. So she was like wanting to do it this weekend. She was like, let's go. And I was like, I need some time to get my life together first. But so my surgery date is February 2nd. My downtime is 2 to 6 weeks. So I will be on a 2-month hiatus from all content. I will not be doing anything content related for the month of February or March. Now I will have two pre-recorded episodes with Kat, one for February, one for March. Other than that, I will not have any content coming out from me, or I won't be a part of anything for those 2 months. And really just, I'll probably, when I'm doom scrolling, when I'm not drugged or passed out or whatever, I'm sure I'll be sharing stuff and I'll be online. I will not be unreachable by any means, but it will just be, I will not be doing any content during those 2 months. So, if we have ongoing collaborations, if we've already previously chatted about you coming on and we just needed to schedule, everybody kind of funnel that to Steve. My better half on voices.
So, I mean, obviously if you don't follow me on social media, my handle is at polterguysteve. So all that stuff, or we have our Voices from the Mausoleum Gmail, but actually just go through my social because I don't think I think I have to log into the email. I don't know. That's a whole
I started making the sheet so you would have access to everything.
So you can go through the email as normal, but
comment on the video. You can do all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
You're easy to find.
Yes. So just well, hopefully not literally. Don't come to my house.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. So, but I say that I probably speak for all of us. We all, I hope you take care of yourself, right? And these 2 months will fly by, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just ready to get it over with. I've been in pain for like 2 days at this point. I'm like, let's just do whatever. It's kind of like not the same thing, right? I'm about to make a really wild comparison, but it's kind of like my second trimester of being pregnant. I was terrified of the idea of giving birth. By the 3rd month, I didn't care what they did. I wanted him out.
Right.
I was so over it. And that's kind of where I am because I've had, 5 months to sit and think about it and get used to the idea. And in the meantime, I've had pain, I've had pressure, I've had other things. And it'll just be like really nice to just get it over with and then move on, because right now it's impedes planning and impedes like making fun plans, doing things I want to do. I just want to get it over with. So
well, being in discomfort is the worst, right? It just makes everything else harder. Whether it is discomfort in pregnancy or a medical issue, like whatever it is, right? Like that's just it's a lot on your mental health, your body.
It's exhausting. It's so draining. Yeah, it's so draining. But yeah, so I will be on hiatus starting February 1st. I think next week I have a couple of things to record, but then I'm done. And yeah.
So Another weird segue into recommendations after that. I realized we planned it. It's like a lot of like serial
Well,
questions.
we had a lot to get in. I'm honestly surprised this we're not at like the 2-hour mark. We're doing so good.
Had ourselves
I
on the path.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I'm sure more updates just to follow in general. I'm sure, as you're feeling all right, you'll
And I'll probably
tweeting
have
or
you.
whatever.
I'll probably have you post something when I'm out of surgery for anybody, because I know there's people who are like messaging me really worried, and so like I'll probably, because you're one of my my real life friends. You know what I mean? It's not just so I'll probably just either myself or Melinda will text you and like give you a heads up when I'm out of surgery, and then you can let people know I'm doing well.
I could do like a little channel update. I might do it from the channel itself. Because you have more followers on Twitter than I do. So to reach everyone, I'd have to sort of like tag. I don't know. I'd have to like tweet as you, which I might just do it from the channel.
Yeah, I guess so. I know I can add you as a collab on Instagram. I don't think you can do that on Twitter.
No.
Yeah.
No, we can like tag each other and stuff, but that doesn't mean like just because I tag you doesn't mean like your followers are going to see it.
Well, and I think you've been around long enough at this point, right? I think people are going to know that if they want updates, they're going to have to look for I think most people by this point are following you anyway.
Fair enough. If not, follow me.
If not, remedy it.
But yeah, recommendations. Just to sort of wrap up our episode. So if you haven't seen it, we had a really awesome interview with Jamie Nash, who just directed Last Night at Terrace Lanes. This is indie horror film comedy, sort of in a bowling alley. Super fun, but I didn't know how much he had done prior to that, which is some of Angel's favorites. So I went into sort of his catalog, and I finally watched the found footage film that he co-wrote, Exists, which is his like Bigfoot film. Just shocked, and I knew you saying its praises, so I knew it would be good, but like I was still surprised how much I enjoyed it. Just because you never know. I mean, sometimes we sort of like give found footage movies or indie films benefit. This was like a genuinely really good movie.
Have you seen Willow Creek?
I have not. That was another one of his?
No, Willow Creek is like the Bigfoot found footage. That's the one everyone's always like, it's so good. It's not. It's super boring. There are some shots that are shot for shot steals from the Blair Witch Project. It's not good. Then you see this and you're like, oh, this is how you do Bigfoot found footage.
It's very good. It's very claustrophobic, even though they're in these big woods. I mean, the woods can feel very close. I mean, we know from Blair Witch, but yeah, like the group of friends and like the brothers, it's like really good dynamic, really good relationships there. Where they go with Bigfoot is really cool and creative, and
so good. Feels
very grounded. Like you feel for Bigfoot, you kind of get what's going on with that character. The suit looks great. There are some like really cool shots. Like there's a thing with fireworks that is wild. There's a shot towards the end on the bridge. I won't spoil it, but like some of the close-up shots with Bigfoot are like just really like intense and really cool. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. So
I'm so glad. I knew you would, but I'm glad.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen our Jamie Nash interview, that's there. If you haven't seen Jamie Nash's stuff, go watch it. Terrace Lanes and it exists, and now I got to go watch Altered and some of his other.
Altered is on my list too. Yep.
Yeah, but incredible.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation.
Cool. Mine is a digital artist / painter. I have actually plugged her in very early videos before I even did content with anybody else. And it's for an artist who's like, I guess her website name is Print is Dead. So her name is Elise. She's based in the UK, but she does hand, words are hard. She paints, she draws, she does digital art. Her Wendigo was the inspiration for my tattoo. And then these are some prints. I have a ton of her. You can't see it 'cause I literally have stickers all over my laptop, all over my Cricut, everywhere. I have tons of her stuff. I have her notebooks, like bookmarks, like tons of stuff. But this just to give you an idea. Here's some stuff that she's done.
Wow.
Of course.
Of course, but like incredible. Oh, I like that.
I love her plague doctors. I have several of them. But then she also does stuff like this.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
And there's another one.
So very dynamic, different tones, different sort of like. Oh.
And then there's him in black and white.
Oof.
But she's not only a phenomenal artist, she's also a very sweet person. She and I we've had all kinds of conversations in tandem. It's not lately. She's been very busy doing markets and the like. But she's been doing some really incredible stuff. And I actually am very surprised I haven't brought her up on the show before now, but she's amazing. I follow her on everywhere. She's on Facebook and Instagram. She does a monthly marketplace that she always does like really great sales. I mean, she has like stationery. She sells wrapping paper. I have the weekly, the daily, and the monthly planners that she did. And there's like a Raven design, a Dia de Mortem design. Like there's a bunch of stuff. She's incredible. She's amazing stuff. And super affordable, I would say too. And different sizes on the prints. Anyway, so I actually just bought Addie for her birthday. She's really into Greek mythology. So I got her the Athena bookmark. And then she's also super into foxes. And so there's like it's kind of like, I call it like a celestial fox that she does, but it's the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
Aurora, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Aurora Borealis. Yeah.
So it's like this very pretty, like bluey, purpley looking fox thing. She does beautiful work, and she's a very, very sweet human being. So print is dead.
But apparently not, because it's gorgeous.
I love it. I know her. She's so clever. And her packaging and stuff is so cute. Like my corkboard, I don't have anywhere to put in here, is out there, but I save all of her thank you notes, everything she sends me. This print right here is from her. The one that matches it. I'm just going to do this really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Then she did this one, and then there's my Wendigo baby right there.
Oh,
and that's the inspiration for my tattoo.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, print is dead. She's amazing.
Aww.
Go follow her. Buy some of her stuff.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Finally, that's our show.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This is my last coffee crypt, I think. Right?
Well, for now, it's like the last coffee crypt.
Cue that song. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. No. Yeah. So this is my last coffee crypt until April.
Yeah. So we'll have like guest hosts and stuff. So
yeah. No, yeah. The shows will go on.
The shows will continue.
Yes, Steve's going to work with Tom to continue Found Footage Fridays every week. Nothing. You'll be doing remakes with Scott. Like nothing is just going to completely stop.
Like I had Norrin come on for Coffee Crypt for the December Coffee Crypt episode. Might guilt him into coming back, or maybe have some new guests on.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It'll be. Content will continue regardless.
Absolutely.
So cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on this very lengthy episode. We did very good, you guys. There's so much stuff to cover.
17 minutes over.
So good. And most of that is updates. Anyway, so we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a great week coming up. And Steve and I will see you in the next one.
See ya.
Also, in case you missed it in the previous video, make sure that you go check out this awesome YouTube channel called Video Tasties. The slogan is protecting the past one VHS tape at a time. These guys do a lot of media stuff. 80s list, top list, physical media, collaborations, anything movie, film related, you can find there. There's some awesome tons of stuff for you to check out on their channel. I'll make sure to link them in the description for this episode.